Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Nicole, and in today's video we are going to be discussing the Secrets of the Elite Women course by the School of Affluence, or Anna Bay. Now if you're new here, you may not know that I actually went through this program back in January, but I am going to be going through the program with all of you again in this month of August. We're starting just right away here. And I thought I would come on and just quickly speak with you about some of the things that I've observed in myself and perhaps some of the ways that I have let things slide, which is prompting me to sit down and go through this program again. Because if you join this course, you will have lifetime access to it, and I think that's the beauty and the real bargain of investing in a course like this. So with that, let me tell you the first thing that is really prompting me to go through this program again. That first thing that is prompting me to go through this program again is the intentionality. I was practicing everything that I learned in the course the first time around so intentionally because I was going through the program. And then when the program was done, I was still a little bit on top of my game, but I definitely was not able to practice some of these things that we learn in the program as intentionally because we were still in lockdown. Now once the lockdown lifted, I was back out in the world and I was so busy, and it's so interesting how new habits can totally start to slide when you are rushing around, when you're not being as intentional and you're not being as hyper aware. So I definitely have taken a step back. You may have noticed, if you are subscribed to this channel, you may have noticed that I haven't been uploading as frequently, and that's because I really had to take stock and just find my bearings in how I want to show up on this platform, but more importantly how I want to show up in the world. Because the minute that I got busy, things started to slide and I was actually going back to old habits. So if you aren't going to be intentional about making this an actual life change, then do expect to slide back into old habits. The course isn't going to make sure that you are disciplined in making these changes in your life. You are the only person that are going to be able to make that accountability call and hold yourself accountable and disciplined to making these changes. Now, the second thing that I would like to discuss with you is that getting treatments, if you are on a little bit of a level up journey, if you are trying to come across as a more elite woman, I will tell you this, that the treatments are the easy part, because I think people come into this part of their journey with either a little bit more money or a little bit more time. And I think if you are on the money aspect of things and you're looking to level up, I think it's very easy to quickly go and get this treatment, get that treatment, etc. But in my personal opinion, the part that is harder is the part that is not in somebody else's hands. So what do I mean by that? I mean, okay, I have had quite a few treatments done. My hair is looking a lot better than it did when I first started. I am just in the progress of getting a lip blush tattoo. I have a video coming for you all where I have had almost 10,000 pounds worth of body treatments, and I'm on a bit of a weight loss journey. And that was kind of the easy part, because I just had to go to somebody else with my concerns, and then they were able to help me put certain things in practice or do certain treatments on me. But the part that's actually hard is the part of how you hold yourself and maybe the etiquette in your day-to-day, because I think that's where you can quickly get on a slippery slope. So for me, one of the things that I noticed when I headed out into the world once lockdown has lifted, I noticed that maybe the way that I got busy and maybe the way that I showed up at clients wasn't always consistent or on brand for me. Or I noticed maybe I got into a circle or, a funny predicament of a situation, and maybe I added too much to the conversation that if it got back to that person, it wouldn't make me look in the great in the best light, So I think it's very easy to get the treatments and put that ownership in somebody else's hand instead of taking the ownership on ourselves. So if you are going to be starting the program, I think take that into sweet consideration. The beauty treatments and the wardrobe, etc. is the easy part, even though you might not be able to financially go buy everything that Anna recommends in the course. That is the easy part. Making the changes in your attitude and how you show up consistently day after day is the part that you will need to be disciplined in, but you'll be so happy once you did. Now, with saying that, that is where I'm absolutely loving really refining my etiquette. And believe it or not, that was the part of the course that I found the most intriguing, but it wasn't the part that I felt the most inclined to practice. Whereas since I've done the program, I've read a few etiquette books and I'm absolutely loving putting these little etiquette tips and tricks into practice. And I've actually started putting a few videos over on my TikTok and really holding my TikTok as an elegance diary, not a place where it's like I'm trying to show the most polished content, but when I'm learning something, I'm really trying to document it over there. So if you have TikTok, I would love if you followed me over there and maybe we can encourage each other. Now, the last thing that I definitely have picked up on in this whole transformation over this last 6 months is the fact that once you know what your destination is, it is so easy to be focused on that. However, if you start speaking with others about what some of your goals are, it's not that they're intentionally trying to deter you, but because they don't know what your destination is and they might not even want to go to that destination, it's very easy for them to say certain things to you like, oh, you're too critical on yourself, or oh wow, you're such a perfectionist. And to me, they're wanting me to be easier on myself, but I also think that maybe you don't have the standard or the standard of perfection that I'm looking for, or the standard of elegance that I'm looking for. So I really think that you need to know your audience. And like, for example, my hypnotherapist, which I'll introduce to you, she has been really on my case saying, Nicole, you have a really, really high standard for yourself. And I do think that that is true. But I also think that if you've joined the program, you're wanting to know the secrets of the elite woman. And elite doesn't mean average. Elite doesn't mean basic. Elite means the top. And I think if you're like me, you will want to really reach that point. And I don't think that's a point that you ever fully arrive at. But with saying that, I just want to warn you that if you do share certain things with certain people, they might say you need to be easier on yourself, but only you will know the destination that you're trying to arrive at. And therefore, you have to take what they say with a grain of salt. They're saying it out of love, but at the same time, if they don't know where you're trying to get to in your life and how you hold yourself, they're definitely not going to be giving you the right kind of encouragement. Now, super quickly, I will talk to you about some of the things that I have worked on over the last 6 months. I definitely have started reading a ton more. I am looking at not only refining myself in how I speak and how I talk and how I show up in the world, but I'm looking at refining my personal finances. I'm looking at refining where we live. I'm looking at refining how I show up in my business. And so those are more so the things that I have focused on, and I've been reading a ton. I've been reading so many books. And those of you that I may follow on Instagram, if you recommend or you share that you've read a book, I have been buying those books. If you could only see the computer desk with the books behind me. I do struggle a little bit with reading. I do think that I do have ADD, and that's something where I've also been kind of researching a little bit more, because I think if you have something complex like that, if you're in content creation, I think that's what makes you a great content creator. But when you go to sit down to read or focus on something, it's a little bit more challenging. And I think that a part of this level up journey, a part of being an elite woman, is understanding where you are in life and then really being okay with that, and then making the necessary changes once you've accepted that this is the spot that you're at. So I've definitely been refining a lot of the areas personally in my work life, in my financial life, in my personal life, and beyond. Now, with that, as I just mentioned, I think one of the things that you will really have to work on, especially in the beginning, is your mindset, because it's very easy to work on the outward things, but really the mindset is what is going to keep you going, and it's the thing that's going to let you take a step back and understand how you're showing up. Now, I also mentioned that I'm working on my brand. Now, you can have a personal brand regardless of if you do something online like I do, but I've been working on my personal brand and really taking a step back and understanding what looks good on me, what doesn't look good on me, how am I showing up in the world, and how can I look the most polished. So I didn't go out right after the course, and there's a part in the course where Anna gets us to walk through our wardrobe, look at the things that might be on brand for us, might not be on brand for us, but for me, that really has taken me some time, and I definitely think I'm showing up in a little bit more of a polished and professional vibe, the way that I want to show up to the world, but I didn't go and make impulse buys. So that has taken me some time to really refine what I want my personal brand to be. Now, be it that I have a personal brand, as my job and my work is online, I've had to look and see how that has affected my work. And that's another thing that I've been refining, as I previously mentioned. As a content creator, it is very easy to get caught up in the trends. It's very easy to get caught up in maybe dancing TikToks or things like that. But I've really sat back and I've realized that that is not on brand for me, and that is not how I would choose to show up in the world. And I wouldn't really go and hang out with people that were doing a bunch of like TikTok dances in their spare time. And so it really made me take a step back and analyze, how do I want to show up within my brand and my digital marketing agency. Now that has made me refine who I work with and who I don't work with. I've had to turn a lot of money down because it just wasn't aligned with my brand, with my agency. Now, even with work, I just had a invite to Superdry's head office in Cheltenham, but that is not on brand for how I want to style myself online or my personal brand. So really, I think once you understand what it is you like and what your end goal is, it allows you to refine how you show up, and that has really played a part in my personal work. Probably it wouldn't be like this for you if you don't put out content online, but for me, I've had to think of it like that. And even in regards to some of the opportunities that I take or go to with my husband, they might be fun, but would it be on brand for us? So it's been really interesting. So last but not least, I want to talk to you very quickly about some of the goals that I have set for myself now that I know where I'm headed and how I want to show up and how I want to style myself. Now, I have to be honest with you, I am speaking with you in a manner that I like to speak these days, but with that, when I am out with my friends, I'm a little bit more lawless, I'm a little bit more brash, and my swearing has not been on point. So I'm really looking at refining myself even further, not just when I'm in front of the camera, but when I'm actually out in the real world. So my first goal that I want to share with you is with my digital marketing agency. I purchased a course that was the most I've ever spent on any type of anything besides my home. And I still have not put my course out for service-based beauty professionals. And that is something that I have to get out in the next 8 weeks time. So that's a first goal that I've made for myself. Now, the second goal that I've made for myself is also a work-related goal, and it is within my personal influencer business. I stopped creating consistent content when the pandemic hit, and since then I've been on this journey, and I didn't really know how I want to show up in regards to my Instagram account, my TikTok, my YouTube, etc. And now that I really understand that, it's about time for me to consistently get back to work, because I'm sure if you're on the other side of the camera watching this, you can't just decide when you show up to work, how you show up to work, and when you feel like it, and I am no different. So that is something that I'm really wanting to be disciplined with, and sometimes the things that are easy to do are the same things that are easy not to do. So I have to hold myself accountable to that. And last but not least, I have a few life goals. So I am looking at paying off my house in Canada, and obviously you have to reverse engineer what you need to do in your day-to-day in order to make that happen. And you might need to save a little bit more, and that might reflect on how much spending you do. So with that, I am gonna keep all of the little details in that regard under wraps, but I will share it with you when the time comes. If you have made it to the end of this video and you find yourself in the program as well, I would love if you introduced yourself in the comment section down below. And if you aren't in the course but you're loving following along on this journey, also introduce yourself, because I think you don't have to be in the program to be on a level up journey. But with that, if you're looking to accelerate the speed of which you get to your end goal of being a leveled up elite woman, I definitely would encourage you to get on the waitlist for next time. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in my next video. Bye-bye.